We are just 6 weeks away from the Chicago Marathon, one of the largest marathons in the US, and this year I decided to participate in the Chicago Marathon happening on October 12th, 2025. So this series is about how I've been training for the Chicago Marathon and how I've been responding to it to help to give you some insight into your own training. And last week I ended up running 60 miles, which on this current plan has me peaking around 72 to 75 miles, which is a lot more than what I originally set out with 2 years ago when I ran my first marathon. Something I did for the first 4 marathons was I always increased my pace and mileage, so both going into one after the other. So I might have peaked up for my first marathon at 40 miles a week, and for my second marathon it was 50 miles, and for my third marathon it was 55 miles. And then I picked up this plan going into the spring marathon in April of this year of 2025. And something I noticed when I was in that block was I was really struggling a ton. I was extremely sore. I was barely hitting the distances, and I wasn't even considering doing the speed days on how much shock my body was going in, how sore we were getting beaten up every day, day in and day out. And then one of the big things I've noticed, especially in this past week, I ran 60 miles, which is around 100 kilometers, and I feel pretty good still, which is something I could not say this time 6 months ago. I ended up running actually 20 miles, which is around 32 kilometers for my long run yesterday. And as you can imagine, the last thing I wanted to do after the run was to talk to someone. I just want to be left alone to get the fluids in that I needed and just to let my body recover. And after an hour, I realized I'm feeling pretty good. I can go out and I can enjoy my day. I can walk around with while my legs are, yes, they are sore. And so I'm not 100%, but I can function. And for every other race I've been training, that hasn't been the case. I've been wanting to be a couch potato, just, I don't want to do anything. Just leave me alone because my body is just in so much pain. But this, it's like, wow, I did a long run, but it was pretty intense. But I feel pretty good. And that's one of the big things. We get so much data coming from your running watch. Think about it. If you have a Garmin, an Apple, whatever tracks your heart rate, whatever tracks your steps, your distance, your time, we have so much data at our fingertips. And one thing we tend to overlook is how are you responding? How do you feel? And I could be looking at the data from this block compared to the block 6 months ago. It looks really similar. It looks like, wow, I haven't made a lot of progress. But if you look at how I've been responding, how I've been feeling, it's been night and day. And one of the things that's helped me keep track is being able to write down in a journal of how do I feel each night. Yes, I ran 20 miles, 32 kilometers, and I was able to go out to a park and play disc golf. I was able to do these things. I was able to go downtown and talk to friends. And if we looked at the same workout 6 months ago, it would have been I ran 20 miles at this pace and I didn't do anything for the rest of the day. And so that's a big tell, is how are you feeling? And that's one thing I believe runners need to focus on, is that intuitive aspect, is that how am I feeling? Am I feeling good for this pace? Am I not? Because that tells you a lot. That can tell you how your body's been responding, if it's continued to be overworked, if you think you can push the pace a little more. Yes, sometimes we feel sore at runs. This run this morning, I was trudging through a little bit of quicksand for the first mile or two. And then mile 3 felt okay, pretty good. And I was running at a pretty slow pace. But the fact is that today I ran 7.5 miles, which is around 12.5 kilometers. So 6 months ago, I would have just ran 4 to 5 miles. And while I was at a slower pace, I was able to increase the mileage and do the mileage. And that's something huge. It's just being able to do the mileage. Because in the short term, we can focus on how does this workout work? Did I hit the times? Did I not? I'm telling you, if you just hit the mileage, just be able to do it. If you just run 20 miles this week, 30 kilometers this week, you may be tired depending on where you are in your journey. If you do the same weekly mileage 3 months from now, 6 months from now, your body's not going to be as much in shock because it's actually done this before. It knows what to expect. It can adapt. It can get used to it. The increased strain on the muscles, on yourself, is less over time. And that's what we need to focus on, is over time. So yes, am I running at similar paces right now compared to 6 months ago? Yes. Am I feeling a whole lot better? Absolutely. And going into this next week, I'm going to be aiming for 65, 66 miles per week. And I think I can hit that. I can tell you that my last block during this week, I took an easy week because I just needed that extra recovery time from how much strain I was putting in. And so the fact is that this week, I think I can hit this. I think I can hit the workouts. I feel refreshed. I feel rejuvenated. And I'm 6 weeks out from the Chicago Marathon. And so that is the big thing I've learned this week is acknowledging that, yes, times are similar, but I'm feeling a whole lot better. And that's actually given me confidence that, you know what? Even though I haven't increased the times, I think I can run a better PR. I think that this next marathon is going to be more enjoyable just because of how I've been responding in my workouts. And that is something I encourage you to focus on wherever you are in your running journey, that focus on how are you feeling in the moment? How are you feeling 6 hours after? Write that down because that sort of data is just as important as everything I get from my Garmin watch. It might just be from the watch saying, oh, I got 160 steps. Well, we want to increase that to 170 steps per minute, or we want to increase your stride length to X amount. And something we often overlook is, I just feel pretty good. I feel great. I just did that workout, and it was the same workout I tried doing 3 months ago, and it was a whole lot easier. I rated that as an 8 or 9 3 months ago. This was a 6. And I felt like maybe I could do another rep. And that is huge. That is everything. So please write that down. That's something I'm currently doing this training block. And that's the big improvements I'm seeing. So please stick around for next week's video about training for the Chicago Marathon. If you found anything useful from this video, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. And I encourage you to check out some other videos on this channel that can help you with your fitness journey. But thanks for coming by and listening today. I hope to see you again soon. Ta-ta for now.